Episode number 54 of the Debi and Dr. Rob Show. Do you pitch like a girl? And if you do, that actually may be a good thing. This is my favorite topic. It's about sales and the power of women in business and how they hold secret gifts that help them become more successful. Before we begin the show today, I have a special invitation. If you're listening to the show and you're a woman entrepreneur, whether you're just starting out your business, want to live your purpose, or have created a successful business but want to go to the next level and are tired of those internet marketing masterminds where all you're talking about is marketing and really getting to the root of your own personal growth and your happiness and joy in creating a business. What I know for sure in my experience in business is that my personal growth drives my business growth. So if you are struggling in your business, it's probably not a marketing problem. It's probably a misalignment of your mind and understanding the power you have to create what you want. The Evolve Women's Leadership Program is a group of women who are just starting out, making 6 figures and even 7 figures. And they have a variety of businesses. They're not just coaches. They're photographers. They're filmmakers. They're creative artists. They're writers. And they really want to make a difference in the world, but they're not just driven by revenue and the bottom line. They want a full, complete life and feel joy while they're creating their business. So the Evolve Leadership Program is available to you if you are interested. Year-long program. All you need to do is go to creativewomenleaders.com or just go to our website and click on programs, get an application, and speak to me directly about joining the program. I'll tell you the current pricing and how you can get started and be a part of this amazing group. The program can be taken anywhere in the world, but we also have live events throughout the year that you can attend where you can meet with us in person in small mastermind pods and really have profound shifts in your life. If you know our work, you know that we're not going to give you superficial mindset, think positive type of mantras. You are going to go deep into your own psyche, explore your dreams, get connected to higher levels of consciousness so you can create your business and your life and be completely in control of your destiny. So go to creativewomenleaders.com and find out more about Evolve and apply today. There are only a certain amount of spots available for 2019, and we're taking applications right now. So with that said, let's begin the show. This is the Debi and Dr. Rob Show. You are in the right place if you are tired of the basic self-help and you're ready for a higher level of teaching in neuroscience, Jungian psychology, and Eastern wisdom. We offer world-class personal development and coach training for evolving women entrepreneurs to help you go to the next level of growth in success, relationships, and living your purpose. So let's get started. Episode number 54, Rob.
All right.
Do you pitch like a girl?
So, I don't think so, but let's talk about this. We've been doing a lot of interviews with people, and they all mention, that we've created a great business, and no doubt about that. But from the inside, I certainly know that we owe that success to you and your abilities in business and as an entrepreneur. And we know that in general, all businesses require great salespeople. And I've seen you do sales for years now, and I know you're one of the best salesperson I've ever seen because you do it with style and with grace and in a non-pushy, salesy way. So I thought I would interview you or at least ask you a few questions on that so that our audience could get the benefit of your knowledge, if that's okay with you.
That's fine. That's why we're here.
So tell us a little bit about, well, how did you develop this business savvy, and then we'll talk about the sales part a little bit.
Well, first of all, business is sales. Everything you do in business, if you're an entrepreneur, you're a salesperson. So you have to embrace that. Yeah. You have to sell, you work with a team, you have to hire a team, so you have to know how to sell working for you. You have to work with contractors and business partners and network with people and get people excited to do partnerships with you. And of course, get clients and customers. So you're always doing sales. And one of the things I learned over the years, I worked in a lot of different internet marketing startups. And one thing I noticed is, and most people can vouch for this, most women, is that a lot of the people in management positions are men. And a lot of the people that are running companies are men. And a lot of the ways they train you how to do sales are from a male perspective. And when I even started my own business as a hypnotherapist and becoming an entrepreneur, I noticed a lot of the internet marketing was driven and sales training was by men. And I always felt that there was something off about it. Like I was like, yeah, I could see the structure here, but that's not me. And I hear women say that all the time, like, oh my God, I stay on the phone until someone hangs up on you, or pushy, or call them back a million times and be really aggressive, and you got to go for it, and you got to talk over them, or I don't know, all these tactics that I've heard that were very masculine driven, and even internet funnels and all these ways that we send emails out. I always felt that the way they approached it was a very aggressive, not even assertive, but more aggressive and less concerned about what the other person on the other end was thinking and more about their own, how do I get that person to buy?
I know. That reminds me of that movie, The Wolf.
Yes, The Wolf of Wall Street.
Wall Street, yeah. So what is the difference here than, let's say, a feminine approach to sales?
Well, there's certain things that women are naturally good at. And I love the title, Pitch Like a Girl. That was actually your title, because it seems like a negative. But I actually think if you embrace your femininity and your women sense, that you can really do very well in your business. And you have to stop looking for male mentors to tell you how things should be done. And you know it because intuitively you're thinking, like I did, this is not totally right. It doesn't feel right to me. And you're on target there. And it's not because you're afraid to put yourself out there. A lot of times it just doesn't feel right. And so women are natural salespeople. When you go into a restroom, you don't talk to the guys next to you about your hair or your jeans or your girlfriend that's sitting out there. You are facing that wall and you're doing your business and you're out of there. No talking. Women go into a restroom and they are like, oh my God, that's a great lipstick. And oh, I got it from this. And you're selling the products that you're using. Right. You notice a lot of the influencers on Instagram are all women talking about how to use certain products and what clothes they should wear and style. And we're so good at connecting and sharing. And so the first lesson in sales is to connect and share. To make that a big part of your business is, I want to connect with you. Right. I want to really, personally talk to you. I'm not trying to push something over on you. I'm excited about something that I want to share, but it's not about trying to manipulate. And so we naturally have this ability to connect and share. We're really good at that.
Yeah. Yeah, that reminds me of the research on the differences in the brains of men and women. Mm-hmm. There is some research that shows women's brains are wired a little bit differently. Mm-hmm. You are more social. You use more language. You can process in different ways. What do they call that? Juggling.
We can multitask.
Multitask, that's it.
Yeah, actually, just before you were talking, and I was thinking at the same time, and I heard everything you said, and it was like I had two brains going on. So, yeah, and if you think about early in life, I think biologically we evolved that way because when the men went out to hunt, they couldn't be like, oh my God, and then the hut fell and there was a storm. It was like, be quiet. You're going to scare the animals away.
We were good at exaggerating how big the buffalo was.
Yeah. But it was all about being quiet and action and killing the beast in a quiet way. Where the women got together and they shared information. They're the ones who developed farming. I mean, we would all be still hunting beasts if it wasn't for women. women. We have this creative ability. And so we learn to be social, and we're mothers, and we have the children, and we share information. And so think about, first of all, what you're doing is you're sharing information, you're connecting, and you're helping someone solve a problem. The second thing that women are good at, which men are not good at sometimes, I don't want to say men versus women, but listening.
What did you say?
We do, and I'm bad at this too. Sometimes you'll be talking and I'll totally block you out, and you'll say, "I live alone." But no, women generally are good at listening to each other. We'll talk about our feelings, and we'll listen to our friends, talk about the ex for the 50th time, where a guy tends to just shut it out. And I think that a lot of times male salespeople, and I don't want to make it a gender issue, but the way we didn't really get taught from the male perspective in a lot of the trainings I've taken, was about listening, the power of listening to the client, seeing what they need, instead of shoving it down their throat, convincing them that they need something. And so a really great tool for listening in business is on a sales call. You're listening to, if you can solve this problem for that person, are they in the right place? You're listening to what they really want. And you're also, if you're a really good business person, you're listening to your customer service feedback.
Sure.
You're listening to social media, how people react, and listening is something that we do really well.
Yeah. And I guess this goes for not just for sales, right, but for marketing in general.
Mm-hmm.
And
like customer service and feedback from your brand and what people are hearing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, and what about the emotions? I know, the stereotype, right, is that women are more emotional and guys are more, say, power-driven or something like that, or more intellectual.
Yeah, the research shows that men are very action-oriented and women are more empathy-oriented. So we really care more about how we're going to make other people feel than men do. Just in general, I think that's just, we're built, like you said, our brains are built that way. And again, I'm not saying that all women and all men are this way, but what I've noticed in my career and what I've coached many women is that we do really care about how the other person feels. And what I noticed it's just in the coaching industry, that a lot of these salespeople, they didn't care about what the other person on the line felt. All they cared about was making that sale. And it was all about going for fighting the beast, killing the beast, didn't care about the animal. Where women, I think we pick up, and in a way it can inhibit us, because we do feel too much that sometimes we're afraid to ask for money, or we're afraid to say how much our pricing is, or afraid that what they're going to think about us. But in general, we want to embrace that part of us because we are naturally empathetic.
Right, but that would be determined on whether you're in a corporate job, which is male dominated sometimes, mm-hmm. or offices that are mainly men. Or you're an entrepreneur doing your stuff on your own. Mm-hmm. Because can you use those qualities in a corporate setting? Absolutely.
Because here's the thing, that no matter where you are, where the people above you and the people below you, they have feelings. They have personal life. I think a lot of times people forget that we're human beings. We're not just VP of marketing or Joe Blow in customer service, where we have lives and personal feelings and emotions, and that we have insecurities, all of us, and social anxieties. And for a woman to be aware of that would probably be more diplomatic in the way she explains something than someone who's not. Again, it's a spectrum, to understand that empathy, but not let it run you where it's getting in the way. And so that's where I find that I said that women care how people feel and men care about closing the deal.
The bottom line.
The bottom line. And it's not that you disregard one or the other, but you make them the same goal, because you want to close the deal with someone's going to feel good about that deal. And I think it's, for women, when we're on a sales call especially, or we're dealing with a partnership and negotiating, it's about really paying attention to that intuition, our own feelings, what's going on, and understanding ourselves enough to know what's fear and what's intuition. So I think all of that, women are more in touch with ourselves that way and examine ourselves more. And I think men in general are more about taking action to try real harder. And so, where a woman is always a little more self-reflective.
Yeah. And so I know you're writing for Inc. magazine now, and how's that going? I mean, are they receptive to your ideas? And
they hate them. No, just kidding. No, they're really getting they're taking traction. It's interesting writing for a corporate, they're not corporate, but more entrepreneurial, very businessy, corporate.
Yeah, they are corporate.
Kind of corporate. It's kind of almost like having to water down a little bit or reframing some of our deeper concepts. But it's nice to share these things. But I really wanted to have this interview with you because I feel that women sometimes feel that who they are and all the emotional parts of themselves and just socially, like where we have been, we get paid 80% of what men get paid generally. And I'm sure that's, as an entrepreneur, we charge 80% less than men charge. And we are more caring about sharing with each other and then not competing with each other. And sometimes we feel that we have to be like a man in order to succeed because there are so many men in power. There are so many men that are leaders in the internet marketing field that we think we have to do what they say, and that's the way it is, and this is what works.
That's the way it's got to be.
And I want to invite the women out there to question everything that they know. And when you get advice or you learn something that feels off, you'll just know it. It just doesn't feel right to trust that. Of course, there's those things that people don't want to do, like pick up the phone and call someone, cold calling or those type of things. And there's more of an ego fear. But just remember that there is a creative way to do things that maybe have not been discovered yet. And be brave enough to not just follow a formula and to be brave to create your own. One of the fun things that I love about being an independent entrepreneur is that you get to decide it for yourself how things should be. You get to decide how your company should be run and really think of it more creatively. There is always another way to do it. Now, one of the things that brings to mind is our mothers. Back in the 50s, 60s, our mothers, my mother grew up in that time. Your mother in the 50s, 60s.
Sure.
Your father would come home with the money and she would find a way to stretch that money, and she would take raw materials of different ingredients and create a beautiful meal. She would find solutions to household problems like, how do I get the windows to clean? And my mother has so many ideas, and that's from women sharing with each other, women being creative, and we need to bring that into the business world now, that we have to own that power of creativity that we have and not believe the powers that be are the way to go.
Yeah, and there's so many women entering entrepreneurship now and creating businesses and creating new ideas and new solutions to old problems. It's really an exciting time. What advice would you have for people that are at the cusp of, taking that big first step towards entrepreneurship?
I'd say number one is get a coach. If I didn't have a coach from the very beginning, I'd still be going in circles trying to figure out what the heck I was doing. Your ego is used to being in the status quo, and it will make so many excuses for why you can't do what you need to do. And you could read books and you could take online courses. And I know a lot of people that do that. They take these online courses, which are very cookie cutter, generic ways of doing a business and how to get clients and how to make money. And it lacks that creativity. It may be their system that may have worked for them, but it may not apply to your business. So you need a coach to really help you, give you your own individual expression of your business. And you're not going to be a cookie cutter pattern or copy of everyone else. You are going to be your own self. And a lot of what happens when we first start a business is not that we don't know the marketing or that we don't know the steps to take to become successful. We know them. It's just the psychological resistance that we experience gets us off track. And you need a trained coach. I recommend a Jungian trained coach because you want to go and get to the root of what's going on, not just think positive and not just take action, but someone who can bring out your best and your creativity so that you can express yourself and the natural, especially women, you have a natural ability to be creative and tap into that. Don't be afraid to feel on sales calls. Don't be afraid to be emotional when you do videos or when you write copy. You want to use all those things that make you so wonderful as a woman and use it to your advantage. And what I see in the future is that men are going to start taking classes from women because we know what the heck to do. And when I was at that Inc. Women's Summit last year, the guy from Shark Tank, he said, every time I invest in a woman entrepreneur, I always get a return on investment. Always, always, always more than men. And so I want you women out there to know you have so much power. First of all, you have the power of the consumer power of purchasing. You have such a big power. You drive a lot of purchases, but now it's time for us to drive the business world in a new way, to make it a friendlier, more empathetic, more collaborative, and more abundant place for all of us to live, where we're not just raping the resources of the world and not caring about the environment, that we're really being a holistic solution, helping each other, lift each other up. And that's what we're really great at.
Oh, nice. Well, I certainly know if it helps the bottom line, men will be interested in hearing this.
Do I have to get in touch with my feelings? I know. It's interesting. I hear all the time that these people brag about. I had $100,000 launch. I made $100,000, but I spent $200,000 on ads to get that money. And a woman would take that same thing, probably spend $20,000 on ads and make the same amount of money because she's more creative. She's going to understand on a deeper way. It's not just a, spray and pray and just a bulk, volume, get more volume and make more money. It's how do I get the right people? How do I help people and truly feel good about it? And how does both parties feel great in that sales conversation where they both feel like they won versus someone's trying to conquer the other person and get that deal. Mm-hmm. So
nice.
So remember, women know how to feel. They care about what people feel, and guys just worry about closing the deal. I know I'm generalizing here. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate mail from this, but we're just saying in jest in general. That's just how the business world has been.
Absolutely. No, I think it's great advice, and we need to talk more about this and share the wisdom that you have with our listeners and followers. So if you have any questions, any specific things that you want us to talk about on our podcast, feel free to write in the comments there a question, and we'll definitely take it into consideration.
And also question, just because if you have a female business coach, check to see where she got her content from, because most of the time it's just a guy. She's just copying what a guy taught her. And I'm fortunate to have a business coach that is the forefront of female entrepreneurs in the industry for the past 20 years. So I know that her stuff is her stuff, and she's the real deal. So make sure you're getting a woman's process along with a woman coach, and that's going to help you become more successful as a woman, and you're going to feel good about it.
Good advice. So
take care, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the Creative Love Radio podcast. And don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes or Google Play. And we're on Spotify now. And if you're interested in learning more about leadership, women's empowerment, we do have our Evolve Leadership Program. That is a 12-month program. You can be in our group program, or you can be in the upper level, guru level program where you can coach with me privately. I have a few spots available for that. It's a year-long mastermind with powerful, creative women changing the rules in business and stepping into our power to really create something wonderful in our lives, both personally and professionally.
Nice. See you next time.
Take care, everyone.
Much love.
Bye-bye. Thank you for joining us for the Debi and Dr. Rob Show. Please don't forget to subscribe to us on iTunes and leave us a review. We'd love to hear what you think about the show. And stay tuned to join us for our next episode. And also visit us on our website at debiandrob.com. We'll see you next time.